Hey there, this is my mate, or male, as I like to call them, because it's sexy. And what if I'm not sexy? That is how I feel like so many of the characters act. Why? Please stop. I can't handle this. Hi there. Hello and welcome to my channel where I talk about books. My name is Megan and today's video, if you can't tell from the title, is why I am done with Sarah J. Maas's books. I'm going to be talking about the Throne of Glass series mostly, and then I'm going to be talking about the A Court of Thorns and Roses books as well, although I have only read the first book. Well, I didn't quite finish it. There's probably a little bit left, but we'll get into that more later. I'm just going to be telling you why I am not going to be reading any more of her books. Also, I'm going to be going into spoilers for the Throne of Glass series and minor spoilers for ACOTAR, very minor, because I didn't even finish the first book. So just keep that in mind if you're going to stay and watch this video. I'm going to do spoilers, although I haven't read Tower of Dawn, and I'm not going to, so not going to be spoiling that book if you're interested. And now it's time for the little disclaimer that everybody puts in their videos, because apparently you have to. So here it goes. Just because I don't love this book doesn't mean that it's an insult to you or the author. No, I can't do it. Disclaimers are stupid and pointless. So for this disclaimer, we're going to bring in a very special guest while I tell you what you already know, because apparently that's what you do in these videos. So hold on a second. Here's the Fluffinator. Say hi! Now, Mr. Fluffers, if I'm talking bad about this book, and the book Sarah J. Maas writes, does that mean I don't like the audience? Does that mean that I don't like the author? Does that mean that I'm trying to be offensive or insulting? What do you think? No. Right? No. I'm allowed to have an opinion, right? Yes. See, the Fluffinator agrees with me, so there you go. Thank you for coming into this video, Mr. Fluffers. Now say goodbye. Goodbye. He's a little unsure of what's happening right now. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to get on with the rest of the video now. You can go sit down and be adorable. On to talking about the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, and the reasons why I am not going to be finishing it, and I'm not going to be reading any more of her works. So, we have up here all my Sarah J. Maas books. We have Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, and Empire of Storms. I loved Assassin's Blade. I loved it. I thought it was a great book when I first read it about 5 years ago. And then I read Throne of Glass, and I loved that book as well. I loved the characters, Selena Sardothian. I loved Dorian and Kale, and I just loved the ensemble cast of characters that we had in the book. I thought this series was going to be great fun. Crown of Midnight came, and I enjoyed that one as well. Heir of Fire came. And I started to get kind of iffy on the books. I enjoyed it, but I had some issues with it, and I don't even remember everything that happened in the book because it's been so long since I read it, and I haven't been able to bring myself to reread the books because Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms were not fun books for me to read. For Queen of Shadows, for this book, I had to force myself to finish it. I was not a fan of Rowan, and I really didn't care about his character, and there was just a lot of boring things that happened in this book. And I mean, this book, it's 640 pages. I mean, it's a huge book, and it just took me forever to finish it. And people were saying that it was such a good series, and not just people on BookTube, some friends of mine, and my sister loved it, so I was like, okay, alright, I'll finish this book. And I found myself skipping a lot of chapters with Manning, because I didn't really care about her character, and Empire of Storms came out, And this book, first of all, Bible pages. Why? They're so insanely thin. I mean, this book is like 600, this book is almost 700 pages and it's so small. And then in this book, a lot of the things that I did like about Queen of Shadows was amplified in this book. The smut. Oh, the smut in this book was awful. And the fact that it's targeted to YA. I mean, I had a younger friend who was 12 years old when he was reading the series, and I was like, yeah, don't read the next book, because it is not appropriate for you. Don't do it, because there is so much smut and just a lot of sexy talk and just so many annoying things in this book that happened. And it's kind of heavy, so I'm going to put it down for now. the fact that the series is marketed toward YA when it should be more of a new adult series is also very annoying. And the fact is that it started out as a YA series. And it started out as just regular fantasy YA series. But as the series progressed, it became more high fantasy series. And I was not prepared for that. And I know other people weren't quite as prepared for that either, because not everybody wants to read like a high fantasy series. We have to remember all the names, characters. And so when I was reading Queen of Shadows, found myself getting confused. And in Empire of Storms, I found myself very confused at parts because I did not remember who was who and what was what half the time. And then, of course, that sex scene between Rowan and Aileen. It was way too detailed. I was skipping through the pages because I'm like, I don't want to read this. I'm not a fan of smut books. Never have been, never will be. It's not something that I want to read about. Again, not judging anybody, but I just don't want to read about that kind of stuff. So I have generally avoided books that have that kind of stuff in it. And because it had that stuff kind of in it, this book definitely should have been marketed as a new adult book and not be put in the YA section, because it's just not appropriate for younger kids or even teenagers. If I was reading that and I was 13, 14, I would not be happy. A lot of kids just don't want to read that either, so it should not be in the YA section. That is definitely my problem with the ACOTAR series as well. The fact that it's marketed towards YA when it's definitely a new adult series is definitely one of my issues with it. But back to Empire of Storms, I decided to pick it up again. In this book, there are so many things that I found annoying. The smut and the mate. He's my mate. Or he smelled very male. And all that kind of stuff. All the territorial male fae things that is portrayed as being okay because he's not a human male, he's a fae male, and they're territorial, and that's okay. It's a-okay for him to be possessive of Aileen because he's a fae male, not a human male, so she's okay with it. No, on so many levels, no. I'm getting heated, but no. Makes me want to throw this book across the wall, except it's heavy and it looks pretty, so no. That is just something that drove me insane while reading this book. And then all the relationships in this book. Why is every single person in a freaking hetero relationship? Why? We don't need everybody to be in a relationship. We don't. And what happened to Dorian? I'm sorry, but my baby, no. Why was he so freaking, hey there, Manon, let's have sex. I know you're not a woman, but all the parts are there, no, stop it. So overall, so many issues with this book. The only thing that I liked about it was Manon and the fight scene with Lysander when she turned into a sea dragon. Other than that, everything else sucked in this book. So many relationships, and then we have Lysander and Aileen's cousin brother, who they're gonna get together and maybe get married, and I don't know. And I was okay with that, I guess, but it just was so annoying that everybody in this series has to be in a relationship, and they're constantly changing their relationships. Throughout the series they've been dating, which is okay. I just didn't like the way that this book or this whole series did it. And the other thing that just drove me crazy was at the end was that Aileen and Rowan are mated, so they're meant for each other. So to me, I'm reading this so it doesn't matter that she dated the other guys. If Sam hadn't died, she would still be with him, but if Rowan came along, she'd be oh, sorry, Sam, I'm mated for him, so I have no choice in the matter. It's taking away your choice to say that you are mated and that you have to be together. You are meant for one another. I hated that bit because I'm okay, why do they have to be mated? Can't they just be together because they want to be together? Who says that they are mates? Who decreed that? Who decreed that these two are mates and that they're gonna be together forever because they're mated? So what? If Rowan dies, she can't ever find anybody else to be with because, oh, they're mated, so nobody else will be as good? Is that what you're trying to tell me? That? No, that's BS. No. The last thing I want to talk about in this book particularly is the fact that, everybody seems to be royalty now. That other guy, King, who was, the pirate in the Assassin's Blade series. I can't remember his name. Sorry, but not sorry. Why is he a king of a forgotten people now? Where did this come from? Why does everybody have to be royalty of some, ancient fae or other creature world, other creatures, like, why are they all of a sudden all like royalty and rulers and super powerful people now? Like, can't we just have some regular people doing kick-ass stuff? And some of my favorite characters like Dorian and Selena, they aren't there anymore. Dorian's like completely different person. I mean, I'm all for character growth, but I didn't really see that as character growth. I felt like he moved backwards as a character more than becoming better, more than becoming like a better person. I just don't even recognize Dorian anymore. And Selena Sardothien, Aileen now, I don't recognize her at all. There was a huge disconnect with her character in this book particularly. I'm like, who are you even? What happened to my Selena? Like, I can't know. Please stop changing my characters so much that I can't even recognize them anymore. So those are just some of the things about this series that I am not interested in, and especially because I had to really push myself to finish this one. And then of course she decided to add another book. I was probably going to be finishing the last book just to finally finish the series, but now there's Tower of Dawn and then there's a 6th book coming out. I can't even like bring myself to care. But we are going to now quickly talk about ACOTAR, or A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And if you can see, this is where I left off months ago. I got about to page 308 out of like 412 or something like that. So I got like 3/4 of the way through the book before I just stopped reading it and didn't pick it up again because I just couldn't care. Because I hated Feyre. I hated her character, and I felt this book to be predictable. I could tell that a lot of things were going to happen. And again, of course, the fact that it's marketed as a YA when it is clearly new adult with all the smut scenes in this book. It is so clearly not YA. As I was reading that scene, I was just reading the book like, flip. Oh, they're still having sex. Flip. Flip. Do I care? I really don't. And just, so a lot of people absolutely love this series, but I don't understand why. Because the character Feyre is so annoying. She's so obnoxious and rude, and just, I couldn't stand her. Could not stand her character at all, and so many of the things that happened in this book just annoyed me. Again, the whole Fae male territorial thing happened again in this book. I mean, not to a degree or extent that I hear happens in the other books as well, especially the latest book in this series, A Court of Frost and Starlight, which I obviously have not read and never will, because I heard that there is a ton of smut and just so much sex in that book, and just a lot of nothing happens. So I am not going to be continuing with her books anymore because I really don't like reading sex in books, especially this much of it, because there was a good amount. I just prefer like maybe like a paragraph or two, maybe like 1 page. If okay, we're having sex, that's okay, that's fine. I don't mind if the characters are having sex. That's not a thing that I'm against in books. I just don't need I just don't need a play-by-play description of what is happening. And I just think that it's not a great series, and it's not good books, and I'm just not a fan of her writing style anymore. The sexism in ACOTAR, and of course in the Throne of Glass series with the whole male mate, the male fae whole thing, that they are territorial, and that's okay because they're male fae. They're not human, so it's okay. Again, no, it's not okay. It's not okay to be so territorial, to think that you are in charge of somebody and to get all jealous and angry if they even look at another man. And of course, the main reason why I couldn't finish this book is because of the fact that I hated the main character. And as I said before, I'm sure she's a lovely person, and I have no hate towards the author. I'm not a fan of her books, and that's okay. You don't have to be a fan of everybody's writing or books. So that's all I have for this kind of ranty discussion video. Sorry if it went on a little bit long, but let me know down below in the comments if you have read any of Sarah J. Maas's books and what your opinion is on her series, and if you're continuing with any of her books, if you like them, if you hate them, just let me know, because I'd love to have a discussion with you guys in the comments below about her books, because I just find them so polarizing. I find a lot of people like either hate them or love them. Thank you for listening to me rant, and I hope you have a good day. So give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe down to my channel below if you want more bookish content from me. And that's all for now. Bye! Villains! and emotions and not happiness is coming from Megan. Ha, Savannah, vissima, sabu, the circle of life as it moves through us all. Sorry for my terrible singing. Whew, whew, whew. I know. Whew, 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 whew.